run-of-the-mill small content creator. I've created videos in games such as SCP Secret Laboratory, namely Minecraft, and I'm looking to branch out to games such as Halo Infinite, Terraria, other small games such as that, even though Halo is not a small game. I also Twitch stream every once in a while. That's my main source of content at the moment. I've not made videos in a while. And other things I do online that aren't really associated with it is I sometimes like to create 3D artwork in the program Source Filmmaker. I do enjoy doing that, as well as just having fun with friends. I'm a funny guy. I'm a comedian. I'm a little bit of a clown sometimes on the internet, in a good way.
Yeah. So, you said you made games, right? What kind of games have you made so far?
I don't make games. I create artwork for said games. For example, so in programs such as Blender and Source Filmmaker, instead of traditional artwork, you are instead posing around 3D models and creating something that is in its own image, but also in a 3D space, as opposed to just a still flat image. So, I will say boot up Blender and I'll import the models from Minecraft. I have, say, the models for a Minecraft player. I'll apply the skin for, let's say, this one time I made artwork for my good friend Treg. I took his skin, I put it on the model, I posed the model, I placed props where they needed to be, I set the lighting scene, and at the end of it, instead of just, exporting it as an image, you render it. The machine will
I believe we lost.
composite it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Welcome back. So yeah, we lost touch for a few. What was the last thing you said?
So essentially with 3D artwork, what you're doing is you're taking 3D models and putting them in a 3D space, and once that is all done, you position a camera. That camera will then render the image into a still flat image, and it's kind of cool because that's also how 3D animation is done, in the same way. And I have dabbled in that before. I have made short meme animations regarding a few of my content creator friends, and it's pretty. I'm not very good at it, but it's a fun little hobby of mine.
Sweet. So you have the experience doing all that fun artwork. Have you ever thought of making an animation channel or even an animated video?
Well, I have considered it before. I personally believe that that kind of content, that is a very big, I'd say an arguably bigger time commitment than the usual montage type, roll them out funny punchline videos. Because with that, animation is a very long and very respectable kind of process. One of my friends, Bubs, he is way better animation than me, and I don't know how much exactly he has done, but he's working on an animation. He's been working on that for well over a month, and I'm not sure that he even has half of it done. And it's just so much of a time commitment. If I did do it, I'd probably do it simply for just funny short type videos. For example, there was this one video I made. My Minecraft player was just standing there. It was with the audio of this one meme video from Batman Arkham Knight, where a random goon is just on the streets and he goes, "What if I'm just, turning around and he's right there and Batman is just standing right behind him?" He just starts screaming, but it just cuts off. I took that and I had my player there. He turned around. In the distance, you could see Jet Starfish just moving from like 5 miles away at the speed of light towards the camera. That's the kind of video I'd make. It's only like 5 seconds long, but that's exactly the kind of stuff I would do, because that's just like the short kind of funny, easily bingeable kind of content that would fit that kind of medium.
Awesome. So, you mentioned Jet Starfish, and Jet is part of the Eclipse SMP. You were also part of the SMP at one point, I believe. What are your thoughts on the SMP closings? so far?
I gotta say, I think it was time to close the book there, but I'll be honest, that hits me in the feels. I made so many good friends and great memories, and frankly, Eclipse SMP without such the great people there and the most friendly atmosphere you could ask for, I don't think I would have gotten back into content. I used to make much worse videos than this. A few of my friends recall how terrible it was, and I guess I finally got that drive and that necessary motivation from the people around me just being so supportive and friendly. So I think it's time for it to end, but I'll always have a very special place for it in my heart.
So, when did you start becoming a content creator? What was your first platform?
My first platform was YouTube. Back when I was like, I had to have been like 9 or 10 years old. I made these terrible, terrible videos of me sitting in a little beanbag chair. I don't even know what I was making at the time. At the time, I wanted to make the kind of videos I make nowadays, but I didn't actually have any of the materials because I couldn't just do that on the family computer, nor did I even have the skills, nor did I even know what I was doing. So every like Friday, I would make these news roundups of the channel, but there was no news because I couldn't do anything, and I had no following. It was sad, but it was just something I did in my free time, just as a little pastime. And I gave up from it after a while, which kind of makes sense. But I want to say about summer 20, and I believe it was a video called Getting Mad in Potato SMP. I think that was my first video coming back. That was a short video I created on like a small, like barely video editing montage type variation of Premiere. It was called Premiere Rush, and boy was it, fitting to the name. You had to rush stuff on there because there was barely a software. But I took just one take, like an hour of footage from this Minecraft Bedrock Edition SMP that I have with personal friends, and I made a 6-minute montage. It wasn't too bad, but it definitely had a lot to go. That was my first kickstart back into there. From there, I did what I could. That was during the summer, and I have a summer home further up north, and that place is great, but my setup is all further down south, so I couldn't exactly create content up until the fall when I got back. That's when I created a video in SCP Secret Lab. Divide and Conquer was the title of that video. That video did all right. I was certainly proud of it at the time, and well, it doesn't hold up today. It was all right. And from then, my content just kind of evolved. I started doing a couple Skyblock videos, Hypixel Skyblock. They were very heavily inspired by Technoblade. In those videos, it was pretty simple. I didn't exactly have a script. I was really just going off of, right off the top of my head, what sounded funny, and I was trying to create an overarching story on my struggles, because that game is torture. And from there, my content just evolved to the average run-of-the-mill Minecraft small creator content that you see nowadays, stuff like Jet Starfish, Aeon, Forcevit, stuff like that.
Yeah, so you have been on YouTube for about 5 years now, and like you said, you've got so much experience now that you've learned from previous videos and such sorts. But like, what is something that sticks out to you from when you first started making YouTube videos to now? Like, what is the evolution of your channel?
I'd say definitely ever since I started doing those stupid Friday news roundups to my content nowadays, the goal evolved from entertain people to make people laugh. And it's a similar goal, but my ultimate goal is the idea that comedy is truly the best form of entertainment. It's something that just warms you from the inside. And when I'm just having a terrible day, I like boot up J Schlatt or something, and him just talking about the stupidest things just oh, it warms my soul from deep below. And I've also garnered the idea that the key to comedy is to be as confident as possible. If you go in my opinion, self-deprecating jokes are not where it's at. Those can be funny every once in a while, but if you walk in and you are like the worst person on the planet in terms of skill, you walk in, your videos are 2 minutes long, and they are edited in like Windows XP Movie Maker, and it's just so awful. But at the same time, you're going in like, I am the best one here. I am so good at what I do. I am the best. Just going in and being confident, that confidence will rub off on everyone else who sees that, hopefully. And after that, your audience is going to feel better. You're going to feel better because eventually that, if you start believing that you are the best, you're just going to start feeling better about yourself. Who would have thought, if you think all the time you're just terrible, you're going to feel that way. So confidence is just the key to creating a good personality and something that people want to see, from what I can tell.
So you mentioned comedy. I'm not saying this might happen, but I'm saying it's just in the future. If your YouTube does end up, flopping, do you think you might move your hobbies, your whole persona onto a comedy, going channel, or do you see yourself on your channel currently?
I think I lost you.
Hello.
Oh, there we go. Okay, say it again.
Okay.
Continue in blank.
So, if your channel does flop in the near future, do you see yourself continuing comedy, or being yourself like on YouTube doing videos, Minecraft videos, and such sort?
I definitely don't think I would move to purely comedic. Not in the sense that I want to create serious videos. No, I want to keep that trend of just endless, well, not endless, but trying to keep lighthearted, just pure messing around with friends kind of energy. If this whole thing didn't really go far, I think I'd still do it, just because even if I can't progress on the YouTube scene, it's a nice experience, because that's how I want my content to feel, and how I love feeling, is just messing around with friends, just having a good time, not really caring about the rest of it all, just having fun, just doing what you want, living how you feel. So,
I like that. I like the concept that you're going for, but like, what would be your backup plan, just in case something might have happened down the line? Do you have like a last resort when coming to content?
if this whole content thing like entirely flops, I can't do it anymore, I'd say my next best course of action for making myself known on the internet is either one, trying to appear in others' videos. I know on Jet Starfish's videos, I have appeared on there before. I know I was in there a decent amount in his Best of 2021 video. Or continue to pursue my digital artwork and 3D artwork kind of things, animation, because even if that doesn't pop off in terms of popularity, 3D animation is quite a valuable skill. That's quite an interesting field to be in terms of careers. I mean, look at Pixar. Their films garner millions of dollars, and it all centers around that sort of field. So even if I can't continue YouTube, I would still definitely want to pursue video editing, visual effects, stuff like that.
That sounds like a very fun career path if you do end up going that kind of route. So what got you into actually making, like you said, pixel art and digital animation?
Well, what kind of got me into it is, if you've ever seen those old Source Filmmaker Gmod animations on YouTube from like 7 years ago. It's just the weirdest things. Like a great example is this one Gmod animation by a guy named Kitty0706. He unfortunately passed away a few years ago, but his videos remain near and dear to the community. One of his most popular videos ever was called Team Fabulous 2. I think he has like 20 million views nowadays, and it's just pure unbridled chaos. It's just so bizarre, but also, fueled a lot of people's childhood. And I guess that kind of inspired me because a lot of my childhood seeing content creation was inspired by that unbridled, chaotic comedy. Just seeing things that were so spectacularly bizarre that they were funny. And that isn't my sense of comedy nowadays, but the medium that they used for it was always just so interesting to me. And after that evolved, nowadays I see the animations created in Source Filmmaker. There's this set of awards called the Saxies, and that's specifically for that software. And most of these center around one of my favorite games, Team Fortress 2, but these animations are just so well made. Some of these things are just beautiful, and some of them are also just hilarious. Like, these people have some serious talent, and to see that, I could do that just sounds amazing to me. Also, when I was back in elementary school, drawing was a big thing that I loved to do. I cannot draw for the life of me today. I personally think that I just don't have the skill requirement for it, but I love expressing that creative side of me. So when I found out about 3D artwork and animations, that kind of was my gateway into it, because a lot of those skills carry over, but 3D animation and such, that just kind of clicks with me. I just know how it works. It's the kind of thing where it just feels right. So I can still express that creative side without having to, focus on traditional artwork as a whole.
So speaking of creativity, have you ever had a creative burnout where, as a content creator, you have like a lack of content to produce, or maybe you feel stressful at times because your community doesn't know if you have the content, you want to push out? Have you gone through that stage yet in your career?
Yes, absolutely. After I made my latest video from 8 months ago, titled, I think it was Doing Business in Eclipse SMP, that was still in Season 1, and I intended on making content in Season 2, but after Season 1 ended, I think the biggest part of my problem was a lot of my content, I really prefer for other people to be in it, because things will always be more fun if you can nail that, feel of just messing around with friends. But if you don't have anyone around, you can't nail that feel. So I just felt really down because I got so tired of playing nothing but Minecraft. That just became all there was, and I wanted to branch out, but I couldn't because, the rest of my content creator friends, they were Minecraft. If I had branched out, I would have had no one by my side. I would have been pretty alone, and without playing Minecraft, I would have just been slaving myself to some form of medium that I just didn't enjoy. And eventually I did. By the time that video was done editing, I was so tired of the editing grind. It was so long, and I just couldn't do it anymore. So I think I was in burnout for quite a while. It was only until recently, about late fall, that I started streaming again, and I've been trying to stream every once in a while. School's made it a bit hard. I got a lot of assignments coming in, but it's nice because I don't have to maintain that super serious grind with streaming, because with streaming as opposed to content creation, things happen naturally. I get to interact with viewers, and I don't have to force comedy or rely on just one type of content that will just always work, but it's not fun to produce.
Yeah, that's right. But like speaking of, all of that, what are some big ideas you've had planned for your content wise? Like do you have any new games you want to play and maybe like I don't know, stream or record?
Yeah. Okay. So a lot of the games I want to play, I think I want to play probably purely because they are just the funniest things, and not even in the sense that it's a funny game, but in the sense that the concept of me playing this game is funny. For example, a while back I tweeted that I wanted to stream a playthrough of all of Skylanders Giants, which is such a bizarre game to stream, but the idea of it just sounds so funny to me. Like, it's a game that I grew up on. Like, Skylanders, whether you enjoy the arguably pay to win, toys to life kind of genre, it was still part of my childhood. And, pardon my text tone if you heard that.
It's fine.
So that plus games such as Lego Batman, the video game from 2006, that is another game that is just so far-fetched, but I would enjoy, like, I don't know, maybe speedrunning that game, trying to do a any percent glitch speedrun of Lego Batman from 2006 just sounds wild to me. Another thing I've been doing is I've been delving into randomizers. One of the recent games I played was Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I got that working on an emulator for the Wii U, and after that, you can mod that game, and the mod I was going to was a randomizer. And that was fun because it was so bizarre. The content, the funny, just came in because when you're playing that game, you expect a serious, really thrilling adventure. But it's not exactly thrilling when you have no clothes on your body and are fighting God itself with a gigantic broadsword. That is not exactly what you'd expect. But it just opens up for a whole lot of possibilities. Plus, I like glitching in that game, so it's kind of funny to just, all of a sudden throw two explosives behind me and launch myself across the map. That's an actual glitch called the wind bomb. So I've been mainly relying on chaotic games that you wouldn't expect to see conventionally. Going for the kind of thing that would just let everything happen naturally and on its own. Things that would be funny to play even if I was playing alone.
So, what would you say would be your kind of game genre of sorts? Like, do you do mostly FPS or adventure, maybe story based?
Very, very good question. Uh, well, I have a thing for. I'm gonna mute my phone. If I have to listen to Obi-Wan Kenobi going "Hello there" 5 more seconds, I'm gonna stop. Uh, so I have always loved first-person shooters. That is, I grew up on Halo Master Chief Collection right when it launched. Even if it went through 4 years of torrents of bugs, that was still what I grew up on. I loved it to death. I also happen to love games such as obviously Minecraft, Terraria, Subnautica. I did play that, but it fell off after Season 5, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Chapter 1, Season 5, that was probably the best season, in my opinion. And it's fun nowadays, I just don't like how they filled it with advertisements. So... They did.
Yeah, they're a big sellout. They're a big sellout.
yeah. No, people are like, "Oh, you're making a Skillshare sponsor." Look at Fortnite. They have Ariana Grande can have a shoot up with Jonesy and Boba Fett in the same game. I don't think that's normal, but
No.
okay. So action adventure survival games. RPGs, I'm not a big fan of turn-based combat in RPGs, but RPGs like Breath of the Wild, Cyberpunk, which I haven't yet gotten to play, but I've been really wanting to.
Before you say anything about Cyberpunk, so there's actually a new DLC coming out, I believe, in a few weeks for Cyberpunk if you do end up playing it. So look forward to that, because the game is alright, but it's kind of mediocre at the same time.
Yeah, the game would have been so much better if it wasn't for the game-breaking bugs, but at the same time, that kind of fits back into my whole point of games are a lot funnier when the absurdity comes into play, because those bugs are just perfect content. I mentioned Donkey earlier. One of his more recent videos was on Call of Duty Vanguard and Battlefield
Oh
2042. The Battlefield 2042 video is 3 minutes long. He never speaks a word, but is single-handedly one of the funniest videos I've watched in recent memory. It's just, he just shows the trailer and then he shows how horrid the beta was. Like, I don't know why that man is sliding across the floor at Mach 7 on a highway. He's literally just a dead body, but he's just sliding. But that's just so out there. I love it.
Yeah. So going back to our previous question about school and all, like you have of course got school and a lot of other projects IRL. How do you manage your time wisely between making content, getting your creative side out there, and then also having time for yourself?
Uh, well, when it comes to trying to balance my work life and my content, uh, fun life, it's very hard for me. I've always really had problems with staying focused in school and trying to stay on task. That's always been a problem for me. Uh, However, I think recently I've found a healthy balance. I've really gotten the motivation. I really have a massive drive to prove myself and do well academically. It's just really hard very often, because a lot for me, the school system is quite repetitive, which is the opposite of what I like. So it has been difficult, but uh, I usually try to complete everything I can in class, and then a lot of my time spent not in class is just trying to have a good time on the internet. Very often I'll log on, I'll get in VC with my friends. I'll just, just chill. Even if I'm not even doing anything, I've just been sitting there building the Lego set. I actually have a half-built Lego set on my desk right now.
Oh, you do?
I do. It's a Lego Stormtrooper helmet statue.
Oh.
And it's pretty actually pretty sick.
I'm getting a bit of the clues that you. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm done. I'm done.
My bad. I'm getting a bit of a clue that you like Star Wars, don't you?
I do. I am a big Star Wars nerd. Love that.
So,
me a nerd.
So, what are your top 3 favorite Star Wars movies from best to worst?
Very hard question. Oh, I'd say if I can give a top 3, number 1 is probably
Attack of the Clones.
It's a really you wish. Number 1 is probably gonna be, if we're including the Star Wars stories, it might be Rogue One. I think that was a really compelling story. But at the same time, I gotta say, nothing can stop me from loving not Revenge of the Sith. I do love Revenge of the Sith, but Empire Strikes Back. I was gonna say Revenge of the Empire. How could I find myself a real fan? No, okay. Number 1 is probably Rogue One. Number 2 is probably Empire Strikes Back. Number 3 is probably Revenge of the Sith. I'm a big fan of dramatic plot lines like that. So all 3 of those movies, just the kind of movie that you can watch and just feel so shocked, appalled, emotionally distraught afterward.
So
those are all the movies that are just ending badly.
So which character do you connect more with on the Star Wars franchise? There's Anakin Skywalker, there's Darth Vader, same person. Obi-Wan Kenobi, General Palpatine, I think is his name? Possibly.
Chancellor Palpatine or Darth Sidious, or Papa Old Spice, as I like to call him. Oh, that's a reference that if anyone gets, I will gladly PayPal you like $5,000. Anyway, so I think the character, I mean, it's Star Wars, so you can't really connect with anyone, but I can easily tell you my favorite character. By far, my favorite character is Boba Fett. And that's not even just because he's just a cool character, but I mean, let's face it, he is a really cool character, but especially with the Book of Boba Fett series coming out, minor spoiler, he has been, really fleshing out his character and showing he's really honor bound. He's a really respectable kind of guy. He goes in, and if he respects his opponent, he will treat them with honor and respect and dignity and not cheat. And I think that extra side of his character is so amazing because he's more than 3 voice lines now.
Yeah.
Ugh,
I believe
love
they're
it.
making a Boba Fett series on Disney Plus. Have you seen any of the Disney Plus shows?
Oh yeah, that's what I was talking about. Book of Boba Fett.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I've been watching that show quite a lot.
Yeah.
That is on the 4th episode. I haven't seen the 4th episode yet, but that came out last Wednesday. I gotta see it. I have stayed quite on top of the Disney Plus shows in Star Wars and the MCU. Marvel is another one that I'm like right on par with for how much I like it. So I've been staying on top of shows like that.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the MCU. So what's so far? What's your favorite movie in the current MCU timeline?
Definitely, Guardians of the Galaxy 2. That movie, not to mention, is it just absolutely hilarious. The comedy in that movie is perfect. But in addition to that, the emotional story beats in there, they hit me hard. That is one of the movies I have probably cried to more than once. That ending hits me hard. Plus, like the music selection. Oh,
I would say I would have to be Doctor Strange
magnificent.
for me. That movie is so underrated because it came out in a genre full of like superheroes, like I believe Batman and Superman was out during that time, so it really got overlapped and overlooked by other movies. But Doctor Strange is amazing, and I can't wait for Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. But who's your favorite character so far? I know we lost, Iron Man, but like, who besides him, if that's your favorite character, be your favorite character?
Another good question. I don't think any of the Guardians of the Galaxy are my favorite characters, even though I love their movies. I have to say, and I'll give 2 examples. One is going to be on what I think is the best character in terms of how well written he is, she is, and the second one is going to be my favorite character purely based on I think they're cool or funny or something. The second one is definitely Rocket Raccoon. He's a great character in terms of comedy beats. In terms of emotion, story beats, I gotta say it might be.
Ant-Man?
Oh, you can't hit me with the Batman.
No, Ant-Man.
Oh, I thought you said Batman. Oh, okay. It's not Ant-Man. To me, he's just like a lovable little idiot. He's not a story beat kind of character. Maybe it might be Spider-Man Peter Parker. I haven't seen No Way Home, unfortunately. I really gotta see it. I'm really sweating because people are spoiling it left and right, and I'm only narrowly avoiding it.
Wait, so you don't know how the movie ends, do you?
I've done my best to stray away from spoilers. I don't know anything about it.
Do you want a little spoiler real quick?
What kind of spoilers? About the ending, or what are you talking about? What kind of story beat are you talking about?
Sure. Ending it is. Yeah, I could do ending.
Oh no. Okay, that's a big fat no, my guy. I'm not about to get spoiled on stream. No.
So
okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
But I genuinely think his emotional story beats are great. I think his conflict of trying to be more mature in Homecoming is great. Then they just expand upon that from, he realized that this life was, so much of a commitment. He didn't want to go down the same path as Tony in Far From Home, and now that he has to really weigh that because he can't really go back. I cannot wait to see what his character arc is going to be like in Far From Home. I bet that's gonna be some insane stuff.
You're gonna be crying at the end. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh dear lord.
Yeah. So of course you know that the Goblin, Doctor Octopus are back, and from the Sam
Yeah.
Raimi universe. So what do you think of
Yeah,
those?
Raimi and Garfield.
Yeah. So what do you think of those characters coming back into the MCU or making an entrance to the MCU?
Okay. A while back, like a year ago, my opinion would be wildly different. I would have said, I hate the multiverse in the MCU. That's just, they ran out of ideas. They're expanding too far, blah, blah, blah. But this, I think, might actually be a good turn. After Endgame happened, we kind of had a void of what was going to happen next. I loved what happened in WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier, though. That was awesome. And with the multiverse, I'm still a bit skeptical. Because I don't know why I said goal. Because obviously that's just completely paving the road for fan service. Like, hey, remember this comic that everybody liked? But I really like the way they're putting it, because from what I can tell in the trailers, and do not confirm this if I'm right, from what I can tell in the trailers in Far From Home, it's big on the consequences in the multiverse, in the sense that one character in this universe will have the consequences from a different universe, such as he's like, I guess, fated to like kill Doc Ock and Willem Dafoe over there, because that's what happens in the Raimi movies,
So
and he has to come to terms with that, and I think that's a good take on the multiverse.
so you think Spider-Man kills Doc Ock and the Goblin?
I hope they're gonna find a story beat to get past that, but I think I saw a trailer bit where they said, like, these people are showing up because in alternate universes, Peter Parker's supposed to kill them, and it's true. So,
Well, it's not true.
inadvertently or not.
It's not
Well,
true. Well,
kinda.
Sandman
They
didn't die.
True. Sandman didn't die.
The
but,
lizard didn't die. He got put in prison. Doc Ock and the Goblin are the only two that died. Electro, I don't know. He like went into the grid. I'm not sure if you can even consider that dying. Maybe.
Banished. He got sent to the Shadow Realm, bro.
He got the ban hammer.
He got Twitch chat banned.
Yeah.
Posted NFW in New York.
So, going back to your content, how'd you come up with your name, Whyustaring?
That, a lot of people think is going to be a great story. It isn't. I kid you not. This one day, I need an account name for my Xbox, because when my dad had the Xbox, he first got that when I was so young. We got an original Xbox One, we got MCC, and that was great. I didn't have my own profile because I was, a youngin'. So when we got in 2015, we got Star Wars Battlefront. 2015, the EA remake. People say that game was terrible.
That was
I
bad.
disagree. I disagree. I think that game had a lot of flaws, but that's another game that's near and dear to my heart. Even though Battlefront 2 is infinitely better.
Agree.
Battlefront 2, they fixed their act.
Do you still play that game?
I do. Battlefront 2, I do still play. I have like rank 80 in all the classes. I've leveled up the star cards all the way, every single one, even the ones I don't use.
Wow.
So I really grinded that game. So one day I was like, hey, I want to play online and I don't want to have to log into my dad's account all the time. So I finally got my first Xbox account, and I signed all that up, and I need a name. I couldn't think of anything. So I went for like, yeah, why you staring? Why you staring at me? And I don't know, some terrible accent. And it just was that. And nowadays I don't have it for the purpose of, hey, you looking at me, punk? I don't have it for that purpose. It just kind of stuck. I didn't want to change it. It's unique, I'll say that. I haven't found anyone else with that name, but my Twitter tag is unfortunately Whyustaring because the G is locked off from some suspended Twitter account that's been like that for decades. Bro, it's so annoying. That's the one person that had my name before me. So
Uh,
really, I just made it up.
yeah. So, tell us about your character. What is he, and how did you come up with the idea of your character?
Okay, so the little fella, the little boy right there, he is basically just gonna be an avatar representation of me doing content. I don't really intend to show my face to the public for the foreseeable future. He is a rendition of the loadout I use in the game Team Fortress 2. In the game Team Fortress 2, there's all those 9 classes. One of them is called Pyro, and he's just this masked man. He only speaks from mumbles. He's got a flame suit and a gas mask. And that game is widely known as a hat simulator more than a first-person shooter because there's just so many cosmetics. One of them is something called the Pyromancer's Mask, and it's really just like some weird dragon-type skull thing that you'd find on a Wild West road in the 1860s, bro. And that's one of my favorite cosmetics for it. Not to mention I have track pants and a hoodie. That really forms my TF2 Pyro loadout. And
Those are pants? I thought they were like swimsuits.
if you saw the full image, you'd see it. But yeah, no, the full image, he has legs. Don't worry, it's not. Anyway, that design kind of evolved. I didn't want it to look like the TF2 Pyro, and I liked how it looked uniquely, but I wanted to evolve it into its own thing. So I asked this one person who I can highly recommend, Cow Does Things on Twitter, to make my old profile picture, and I really loved that. Then I had my current profile picture and this little drawing of this guy, drawn by a guy called LazyBones77 underscore on Twitter. Check him out. He makes good commissions. I asked him to redesign him just by trying to make him look similar but be a different character, and this is what he came up with. And I think this is great. It's unique. I like the design of it, and that's it. Plus, it transfers into a Minecraft skin surprisingly well.
So, how do you engage the audience in your community? How do you interact with your members?
Okay, so I don't exactly have a Discord server, or anything. I know a few of my friends do, but if you follow my Twitter, I am typically decently active on there. I make tweets, I respond to tweets, and I like chilling there. I love Twitch streaming because the people that show up in my chat, I love to strike up conversations with. My YouTube comments, I read every single one of them, even though I haven't exactly gotten any recently. So I don't have much of a way of following my specific fan base, but usually through other content creators' Discord servers, I can name like a few, like Treg, Jet Starfish, the
Mr.
Old
Cube.
Eclipse community server, Mr. Cube, kind of. I think I'm in a server, but I haven't really been active there.
Are you friends
Pool
with Mr.
Party
Cube?
community. I am friends with him. I know the guy. I consider it like an acquaintance kind of thing. I know the guy. He knows me, and I could consider us friends, but we don't like know each other.
Like in person, yeah.
In person, I don't know him. Online, I've played with the guy before. That's really the extent to which it goes. The only person I can safely say is like my biggest bond is easily Jet Starfish. I know that guy in real life. He's been my close personal friend for as long as I can remember. And when it comes to content creator friends that I don't know in real life but are still pretty close, I can think of Treg.
Nerdy Yelp.
Okay, yeah, okay. I can think of Treg, Force of It, Axon, ID Knows, maybe Omen. a bit of Vubs, Aeon, YT,
You know, out of all of those you
Code
just
0078.
out of all these just named, I could think of four, I believe, that were on the podcast, either last season or this season. We had Aeon, we had Mr. Q, we had Yoshi. Uh, that's pretty much all we had from the whole group of the Eclipse SMP. But we are starting to branch out. So yeah, um, you have been friends with Mr. Cube and Jet Starfish for how long?
Well, I can tell you this with Jet Starfish, probably well over 15 years. I've known him since I was like in preschool, man. So, yeah, well over that. I've known Mr. Cube for about, give or take a month, not a month, a year, 6 months, a year and a half.
Yeah.
I remember he was like the first person I met on Eclipse when it had just started in season one. I joined like a couple days late, and I remember in the shopping district I had like an iron chess piece, and I walked into the bookstore, and he joined VC, and he was like, "Hey, who just walked into the bookstore?" And I said, "Me," and he said, "Oh, okay, I'm just gonna walk in. I'm just gonna steal your head," and he almost did. And then he proceeded to make a dirt shack, and I blocked him in with obsidian. I remember that vividly.
Yeah. So, based on your content, what other content-wise do you ever want to try out on your channel? Maybe vlogs? Actually, you might not do vlogs. Like, I don't know,
Yeah.
ASMR videos or something. Do you have any sort of like ideas you want to implement into your channel that you're not certain yet?
Well, I've wanted to do uh, pseudo video essays before,
Pseudo.
such as, well, yeah, because it's not exactly the most definitive thing, but there was this one scrapped video idea I had that I never got to finishing. It would have been probably one of my best edited videos for the time, but it was regarding an aspect of my content that a lot of people don't really, they're not really there for, which is Team Fortress 2. I tried making content for that, and the video I was gonna make, I was gonna finish, didn't really get around to it because it was such an ambitious project, and I figured it wasn't worth it because it might have done well with a couple of my viewers, but a lot of people are there for the Minecraft. But anyway, it was a video essay analyzing every single weapon that that class I was talking about, the Pyro, uses. So I took every single weapon in the game that he uses, and I used each of them individually. I recorded gameplay for each of them, and I gave my thoughts, summary, and rankings at the end of the video. And it was that kind of video where you don't watch because you want to laugh. It's a video you watch because you find it interesting. I know there's a lot of videos I watch like that. I can give an example, like I know a few of the Volgans videos on the SCP Foundation. I've liked the SCP Wiki for a while, like with my Secret Lab stuff. So his videos, they're not like entertaining in the sense that, oh, they make you feel happy, but in the sense they're just really fascinating. You get invested in the topic. So I like stuff like that. As well as there's this another YouTuber, Evan F 1997. He's like a historian for this one game, Destiny 2. That's a game that I love dearly. And he's a historian in the sense that he likes to bookmark events that happen in the community. There's been some wild stuff that happens. I remember when one of the 6-player raid activities came out, people did not know how to do it. They had to fight their way through way stronger enemies and had to solve the puzzles as they went. And the first clear of it literally took 18 straight hours of straight gameplay, and the second clear took like 2 minutes past 24 hours. So, like some crazy stuff happens there, and his videos are just really fascinating. It gives you a really unique aspect of that community.
So, what are your biggest accomplishments that you're proud of throughout your 5 years on YouTube and your other social media platforms?
I'd say what I'm probably most proud of, probably being able to nail it home in Eclipse SMP. My biggest accomplishment is probably being able to get in there in the first place. I've greatly enjoyed the time I've spent there. I have yet to reach those big milestones. I did reach 100 subscribers, but that's not exactly a lot. A few of them is I've gotten rated a few times with tons of viewers on Twitch. That was pretty cool. I've been trying to get to those milestones. So what I do have is nice, but I'm still working towards it.
Sweet, awesome. Yeah, it's always good working towards a goal you feel satisfied for. So this next question is going to be a bit tricky for you, maybe, but there's many content creators in your ranking system, like near your sub count, who would, or even more, even higher, or who say that everything is important in how it goes, but they would classify being important as a celebrity, being famous and being a social media influencer. But what does that mean to you, being famous?
To me, being famous is not about being a household name. It's not about sitting there making sure that everybody has heard of you. To me, being famous is maybe not even about being known. To me, the ultimate goal and what I truly consider to be fame in a more broad sense is being known among a community, in the sense that you can go in and have that community. You can have people look up to you, not as an idol, but okay, this is a bad example, but that one joke about J-Schlatt being a comfort streamer and being, just someone to rely on, even though he immediately responded with, "I do not care." I would like the idea of someone going to my content when they need a mood boost. While it's not exactly, everyone's idea of being known, to me, it's the idea of being known in high regard.
So, do you think that one day, once you do achieve your greatness, maybe hit, I don't know, 1 million subs, do you think that what you just said would change? Your mindset would change?
Absolutely not. My goal will always always has been to just provide a unique and good experience for others. I want to be known for being that guy that everybody will just be excited when they see another upload, just watch the thing all the way through and get as many laughs as they can, binge watch old videos because they just want that much more, and above all else, being a good example of what to do to be a good person and a good content creator.
Sweet. So, based on everything we talked about, what is something that you might reflect on later in the future, or improve on, maybe?
Things I will definitely reflect on. Probably things regarding doing what I want to do. I should say, as much as I want to go out and please others, there's a certain aspect of content creation that you need to be aware of, and that's, if you're not happy doing one thing, it's your stream, it's your content, you do what you want. One thing, using J-Schlatt as another example, he mentioned a while ago that a lot of the reasons he stopped streaming and only just recently came back to it is because when he was streaming, pretty much all he did was Minecraft. That's what everybody was there for. No one was there for anything else, and his streams that did anything else would do way worse. And while I can get that, people will want to see one thing over another, and it's always nice to indulge them in that, it's still your life, and if you spend your entire time simply just trying to do things for other people, you're not going to be able to do anything for yourself. So one thing I need to keep in mind as I go forward is, yes, I have the ultimate goal to please other people, to make them feel better, but I gotta make sure I can keep myself above the water. You know, I gotta do what's best for me at the same time.
So, what's something people might misunderstand about you, yourself, or your content?
Sorry, could you repeat that first part?
What is something your community or new viewers what might misunderstand about you, yourself, or your content?
What they might misunderstand about me
Yep.
is I'm. hmm, I don't believe. You see, what I all just said
Hmm.
is honestly, it would sound like I'm going to go in, and I frankly would not blame if you thought this. It sounds like I'm trying to go in and I'm trying to compliment everybody. No, because I my peak of comedy is just completely being the worst person. In my opinion, like I said, confidence is a great section of comedy. In my opinion, another great section of comedy is just actually being so mean. um, I've done my best to keep it, pretty family friendly on this stream. Uh, but if you talk to me in real life, if you talk to me, your close friend, I can say on more than one occasion, I have just been a completely terrible person to Jet Starfish on purpose and fully knowingly. Not like not as a serious kind of thing. He gets it's a joke. He does the same thing to me. Uh, but I want to go in and nail that. Well, yes, I want to, you know, really make people feel better. I don't want to make people feel better through just inspiration because, in my opinion, you can't have good without bad, and sometimes the bad can be the good. And the bad in this case is calling everybody around me a terrible person and acting like I am better than you, cause I am.
Awesome, man. I mean, like, I don't know your relationship with Jet Starfish. I'm not sure if you're like besties or such, but like, I see Jet Starfish and I think he's a cool person because he has cool content, and I don't really talk to the guy or even know that much about him, but from what I can tell from others, he sounds like a rad person.
Oh yeah, he is a great person. I've known him for so long. He is just so much. I've got something in my nose. I'm sorry. Uh, he's just so much fun to talk to. He's the kind of guy that you can just sit down and have an intellectual discussion about Lego Batman 2 Beyond Gotham with Lego DC superheroes, bro, and just chill with them. And he's not the kind of person that you go in and you have deep intellectual conversations with. You just chill. He's just chill. He's laid back, and he's just there. You know, he's just chill. I guess there's not much else to it.
So we
He's a
have
bro.
he's a bro. He's a bro. So we have just a few more questions before we end off the show. But like, you and me actually have been in many competitions too. Actually, I believe you were in the what's that show called? I just spaced out.
Squid Game.
Squid Game.
I know you're gonna talk about that because I watched the Yoshi interview.
Yeah, yeah. You watched
Yeah,
the interview.
I did. I was listening to it last night.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you were in Squid Game. You were in the opposite team of me. We were supposed to be the same team, but you chose to be with like just OP. I don't knows and I believe somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My main men was Axon, Treg.
Axon.
Here, if I go back into my group DMs, I think I can actually find the the old DMs from that. So I was with mainly Axon XP, ID Knows, Treggingtons. God, how long ago was that?
It was a few months ago. I believe it was like what, mid November, early October, somewhere between there.
Yeah, something like that.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I was mainly with those people.
How did it feel winning the
Uh,
game, huh? How did you feel?
well, I cheered on my boy. He carried us to victory. I can't remember his name off the top of my tongue. I'm so sorry. He wasn't like directly in our little group, But he was a part of our Indigo team that was in the big rope bit. We very often were sitting in a little group call,
Uh-huh.
talking about strategies. Very often we would be sitting there plotting our great escape, and it was great. How it went is the first game we didn't really have much affiliation, and that was the red light, green light. I
Yeah.
was probably one of the first people to die, and that's for the stupidest reason ever. It's because when the round started, I couldn't figure out. I'm really blind, not in the sense that I like have bad vision, but in the sense that was the indicator for red light and green light, even though it was like right in front of me. So I thought it was green light. It wasn't. So I ran out and immediately died, and that was that.
You know, that actually
Um,
brings up a good memory of mine. So that's actually like something Mr. Beast said in his video, his Squid Game video. You remember that? Did you watch the video? Have you seen the video?
I did.
Okay,
I did.
so you know when Carl told that girl it was green light and she just booked it and it was red? That's something like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's like one of you, what you did.
I guess kind of, but in the sense it was my own brain tricking me. Like my conscience, that evil Kermit meme. Evil Kermit was just looking over my shoulder like, "It's green light. You can go now." I was like, "Oh, really? I can go?" I just died right then and there. Got meteorite crash frozen, and now I'm stuck.
You know, it was unfair. That rope round, we were not prepared. You guys were spamming your fishing rods, and we ate dirt.
Oh, we had a strategy. We were sitting there. We had one person barking orders. We had exactly what to do. I'll tell you what our strategy was. The idea was our fishing rods would attach to the mining cart right as it spawned. And I don't even know if that actually happened. But what I can confirm is that because we had all our stuff lined up there, not only were we synchronized, as in one string was more like 5 strings because it was one of like 5 strings all happening at the same time. But not to mention, when everybody else had their thing down there, they didn't even have to move their cursor. They already had the perfect spot on where to put their cursor. So everybody had perfect precision going right in. And once you got that first start, there's nothing you can do.
We still need to get a rematch, and that was unfair.
Hey, I can call up Healthy and Mr. Cube and Jet Starfish and get that map.
I'll get my team ready.
We can have a rematch.
Yes. So, besides that, Mr. Cube, you've also done the Maze Runner event, I believe, right?
I wasn't a part of that one.
You weren't a part of that
I
one?
was busy that day.
Oh.
No.
So.
There was one that I'm thinking of that I was part of though. It wasn't an Eclipse event.
Oh, it was
Sigma MC's parkour event.
What?
Sigma MC. He's this smaller figure in the community. He had a parkour event a while ago that I was a part of.
Oh.
Had quite a few people. Jet was in it.
What's that one guy's? I'm bad with names. Tecton MC or something?
Axon?
No. He did the World of War event in Minecraft with Whyustaring.
I don't think I recall.
You weren't in that one?
I don't think so.
Ah, all right. So yeah, we've been in a few events together, but yeah, like the comedy in that video, you saw Mr. Cube's editing is just amazing, and good God for Mr. Cube. He's already almost near 15K just because he joined the I forgot the SMP Lifesteal SMP. But do you ever feel like joining an SMP and being part of a different SMP than Eclipse?
I want to, yeah. I would. I mean, Pool Party. I'm on that. I have not been reactive on it because Pool Party. It was really good for a couple days, but after like Vubs, Ulrich, Jet Starfish, they kind of lost interest. It was kind of like a honeymoon phase. That kind of lost its traction. I'd love to see it gain more traction. I'm wondering how Yoshi's going to be able to keep that up. That was all right. I was on it for a little bit. Eclipse, that's, I wish I could replicate that. I don't really think in the near future I'm gonna be able to be on a big SMP like, Lifesteal. Congrats to Mid Mystic and Mr. Cube for all getting on there, but that I don't think I'm gonna be there anytime soon. I should garner a bit more of a following for that. And Mr. Cube, it helps because he's just an outstanding editor. But if some kind of SMP rolls around that is mainly focused on trying to nail that feeling of hanging out with the buds, just going for straight comedy, just absolute chaos. Something like Epic SMP, which I am completely stoked for season 2 of. That was great. Something I can just chill on. I'd like to try joining a modded SMP, especially because I like the idea of playing a non-standard Minecraft experience. A lot of reasons I didn't like vanilla Minecraft anymore is because I just got so tired of it. It's the same deal over and over again. But if we had modded, that could really provide a new kind of experience and give a certain freshness to it. So yes, I would love to look at that, but in the near future, I'd be mainly looking for modded ones, trying to, get more unique experiences in it.
So one big question myself and maybe one of your community members might ask you in the future is like, why the faceless streamer? If you don't mind me asking.
That's an excellent question. I have slight self-consciousness in terms of my face, not in the sense I think I look ugly, but in the sense that I have some decently bad acne. I'm kind of self-conscious about that, I'll be honest.
I mean,
I actually, yeah, I just recently got like a huge self-confidence boost though, because I recently got, I've had braces for a lot of my life, and I recently got those off, so I think my face in general looks a lot better. Not to mention, I don't think the current location of my setup in my house is in my room. I have privacy, and it's not like in my family room or something. But I don't feel like it's up to par with what you'd want to see in a face cam. I don't exactly have the greatest decor at the moment. I'm in the process of remodeling my room like right now. So maybe for a milestone like 1,000, 10K maybe, if I was able to finish my room remodel by then, and then I hit a milestone, I wouldn't be too opposed to it. But I think for the foreseeable future, it's kind of nice having that anonymity, if that's how you pronounce that word.
Anonymity.
I don't know how you pronounce it. It's such a weird word to spell and to pronounce.
Okay. Do you have any sort of like special ideas for your Twitch streaming? Because we haven't really discussed that much about your Twitch. Do you stream Minecraft on Twitch? But do you have any other games you'll have planned for streaming instead of recording?
Yes, there is something that I desperately want to stream. If I can get to the point where I can get a decent following, so that hopefully I can get channel points. So I want to become a Twitch affiliate, and I can get channel points, and I can use those to alter my gameplay experience. So I'll probably make it pretty easy to gain channel points so that my viewers can constantly feed me things to do. And I'm not going to have things like, oh, pay 500 channel points from me to, I don't know, take a sip of water. No, I'm going to have like 500 channel points for me to completely handicap myself in the game.
Wait, what?
Remove one piece of armor. And like, I don't know, 1,000 channel points for me to go armorless or something. Or 1,000 channel points for me to use my absolute worst weapons in Breath of the Wild or something. So basically, just finding ways for my viewers to have more fun and making me suffer, because uh, you know, it's ultimately going to be fun for me because I'm going to have more of a challenge, and it's going to be fun for them because they're going to be able to A, interact with me, and B, they're going to be able to, you know, alter something to make it more chaotic and more unique.
So, that's. I mean, I like the concept of the idea, right? But like, later down the line, maybe like what, 2, 3 years from now, do you see yourself being successful? Do you, or at this current state where you are right now, do you require help? Do you need any advice from any creators or any inspiration? So those are two separate questions.
Okay, question number one. In, I don't know, something like a year or two, if I'm able to get back on that content grind, I'm hoping I can get 1K by the end of the year. That's if I start back up on the content grind. If I can't, if I can't find the time or the motivation to do that, then I'm hoping by 2025, 10K.
10K.
That's given me 3 years to work with to get 9.9 thousand subscribers. That seems more than doable to me. So I'm setting small goals there, and maybe I can reach 100K by then, maybe if I really get on that grind. In terms of advice, I'd like certainly advice on audio. I'd like to upgrade my microphone and my audio setup. I'd certainly love to, frankly, get back into not back into, but like get into sound design. There's this.
What are you currently
There's this
running?
one. It's a sad setup. I have a blue snowball on a boom arm, and my boom arm is cool because, I mean, it helps, keeping away, this kind of sound. But but it's not the greatest microphone. It sounds all right enough on Discord, but I very often, when I have to do voiceovers, I have to put on quite a lot of audio effects on it. I don't like using Voicemeeter because very often that gives me a delay in my voice, and that just is pretty terrible for me. I like having little to no delay. And so audio things, definitely sound design, because to me sound design is a bit more than just adding a whoosh sound effect, and sometimes stuff like that can really elevate without you even knowing, because it's just going to give you more unique things to listen to, but it's also subtle, so it doesn't feel like it's overbearing. It's like a seasoning. If you had a steak with absolutely no seasoning, it's going to suck. But if you have the seasoning, it's going to taste great, but you're not going to think, wow, this tastes great. Better at editing, probably hit Mr. Cube, because damn boy, you got some nice editing. Stuff like that. So editing, sound design is my two main focuses.
Yes. So next question would be. I'll repeat the question. So, do you see yourself in the foreseeable future still doing YouTube?
YouTube, maybe. Twitch streams, yes. I will Twitch stream. That is something I will continue. But YouTube, with the full-on content grind, unless I can find a more streamlined way of doing it, or a more, I guess, adaptable form of content, that will be on hold for a while. But I do intend to Twitch stream more often, and hopefully, get bi-weekly streams soon, hopefully.
Oh yeah. So, do you do marketing for your channel and for yourself as a brand, or do you know? We talked about this before the podcast even started. We talked about TikTok and YouTube Shorts. Do you see yourself using Hover? You know what Hover is, correct?
I don't think I do.
Hover is like the TikTok of Twitch. It's where you can promote yourself and meet other content creators. Um, we had a Twitch partner twice on this podcast. A very nice man. He's a cosplayer. He gave us good advice that small streamers like yourself should be using. Hover. That's like what you could do easily to put yourself out there and get a bigger, newer audience.
I might consider it. I typically try to stray away from other platforms. I like having a lot of my content centered in one place, so that in the event that someone, wants to find me, it's a lot easier to find me. I might consider it, but other than maybe TikTok, I think I'm really just gonna stick to how I am in terms of advertising. I will advertise on Twitter though, and I always advertise in self-promotion Discord servers.
All right, so we have just one or two more questions before we end off. But yeah, you said you do voice acting. Do you have any gigs planned out or any future stuff doing voice acting?
Oh, that's a toughie. I think my voice needs to mature a bit more before I can do things like that. I would love to try to get into voice acting, but at the moment, my voice is kind of weird.
Kind of weird.
My voice isn't exactly deep, but like 6 months ago, my voice was wildly different. My voice is like later than I wish it would, starting to change into a bit of a deeper, more mature voice. And once it's like kind of settled a bit more, I'd love to get more into that because at the moment, the only half decent impression I can do is Raiden from Metal Gear Rising.
Can you do Ronald Reagan?
I don't even know what Ronald Reagan sounds like. The two impressions I think I have that are decent, I guess, is Raiden from Metal Gear Rising and John F. Kennedy.
Let's hear John F. Kennedy.
Hello, this is John F. Kennedy. I'm on Whyustaring's podcast with Nutty Albert. This is my podcast now. It's property of the U.S. government. It's not even that good.
It needs a bit worky, but you can kind of get similar taste to what JFK would have sounded like.
It's got work on it. The other one, Raiden, just completely destroys my voice, actually. I can go with a little... Let me prepare my voice because this is gonna feel like eating sandpaper. Nerdy Albert, what are you doing on this podcast? It's like you're trying to spread your memes, purging the weak. That's what I can attempt to do. If you've played Metal Gear Rising, I guess maybe.
That sounded like Dark Sidious instead of whatever you're doing.
I guess kind of. It's weird because Raiden in that game has like two voices. He has just completely raspy, scratchy, and the other one is pretty normal actually. But it's also hard because I can't really do that without having a higher pitched voice. His voice is a bit lower than that. I might be able to do it if I was really tired, but that's something that I'm gonna have to practice more.
So, if you ever did get into voice acting, what kind of genre would you like to get into? Like maybe anime or just talk show or a regular kid series or something?
If I wanted to get in voice acting, it would almost certainly be just like a hobby, and it would probably be just voice acting memes. People that come to mind is Gianni Matrigano, Luke Correa, Funny Wes, who ironically does a way better Raiden impression than I do. Those people, if you find them on YouTube or Twitter, literally all they do all day is just they're professional voice actors, but as a side gig, they just like to take just random memes they find and just voice act them, and it's pretty good. I know Gianni Matrigano has a really good impression of Duke Nukem, and so he takes a lot of impressions for that. Funny Wes is really good with pretty much anything related to Metal Gear Rising. JJ Solid also Metal Gear, has a great Solid Snake voice. Luke Correa is kind of your not run of the mill, well-rounded, he can do pretty much anything kind of voice. And they really just do what they want to. I know this one video Gianni Matrigano has is just so weird. It's just a picture of Robert Downey Jr. and the "I'm stuff" thing, and he just goes Mario, and it just echoes, and Mario's just fading in and out of existence behind him. It's terrifying.
Oh, that's funny. Well, we have reached the end of the show. So, I mean, it was such an honor to have you here. Why? I'm gonna call you Why for short.
Well, it's been an honor being on. I haven't really had an offer like this before, so thank you.
You haven't had it. I am astonished you even accepted my offer. So go ahead.
It's
Go ahead.
my pleasure.
So go ahead and let people know what you do once again and where people can find you.
So on Whyustaring, I like to make content in Twitch streams, YouTube videos. You can typically find me on YouTube, youtube.com/Whyustaring, also twitch.tv/Whyustaring, and my Twitter, which is really just constant memes, is twitter.com/Whyustarin. I also have a TikTok that you can find linked on my YouTube. Other than that, that's who I am. I'm just a fella, the boy.
He is the boy. Well,
the boy.
yeah. Thank you for watching. All his links will be down in the description if you guys want to go and check him out. Yeah. See you guys next time. Peace out. Bye.
See ya.
That was cool. So you still play Star Wars, right? I got a battle fan. Blah 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 blah. Not speak. Blah 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 blah.
Baymax was nice.
Yeah.
It took so much power not to swear. I have a habit of swearing it.
You can swear. I mean, it's not PG.
On stream, I just didn't want to, especially because I've mentioned this to my family on how I was going to be on a podcast. Because I mentioned that to my family because, you know, we were doing things today, and I had to get home quick because our family event finished